Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. Guys, in this video, I will be discussing the practice coding questions of Cognizant Gen Z Next exam. Guys, this is part 6 of this video. Part 1 to 5 are already uploaded on my channel. So make sure that after watching this video, you watch those videos as well. Guys, the question that have been discussed in part 1 to 4 are the actual previous year questions which were previously asked in Gen Z Next exam, and the questions which were discussed in part 5 and part 6 are the practice questions which can be asked in this exam. So guys, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe it as well as join my Telegram group also. So guys, now let's start this video, and before starting a video, please hit the like button as well as subscribe button for this channel. Okay, so guys, first we will discuss the question, then we will see the example of this question, and then I will be dry running the approach for the same, so to get the better understanding. Okay, so the question for this video is, given two strings s1 and s2, find if the first string is a subsequence of second. Okay, we have to return true or false in this case. If the first string, that is the s1 string, is the substring of s2 string, then we have to return true, otherwise we have to return false. Now, what is a subsequence? A subsequence is a sequence that can be derived from another sequence by deleting some elements without changing the order of remaining elements. I know this definition will not be clear to you. Let's see the example for the same. So here we are given str1, this is axy, and we are given str2, that is adxcpy. Now we have to find that whether this str1 is the subsequence of str2. Now, what is the meaning of subsequence? Now see, in this the characters that are present in this str1 should all be present in str2 also, but the relative order should be same. Like if after a x is coming, then in this particular string also after a x should come, and in this if the y is coming after x, so in this str2 also y should come in the end of x. So it means all these characters should be present in this string, keeping the relative order same. We can delete any element between them so that the relative order can be same. Okay, so here's, see, here a is there. Now here you can see a is there. Okay, now here x is there, and here x is also there. Now here y is there. Third element is y. Here also y is here. So all the characters of this string 1 are present in string 2, and the relative order of all these characters is same, that is axy, here also axy. So it means that the string 1 is the subsequence of string 2, that is all the characters which are present in string 1 are present in string 2, keeping the relative ordering same. So in this case we will return true. So I hope now the question is clear to you. Two strings will be given, and we have to return true and false on the basis that whether the first string is the subsequence of the second string or not. Okay, so now we will see the approach of these two examples, so that you can know how we can write the code for the same. Okay, so I have told you that we have to find out whether str1 is the subsequence of str2. So here it is str1, and here is it str2. Now str2 was adxcpy and str1 was axy. Now see what we'll do. We will simply take two pointers. One will be traversing the bigger string, that is string 2, and one will be traversing the smaller string, that is string 1, because string 1 will be always smaller than or equivalent to the length of string 2. Okay, I will be iterating string 2 and j will be iterating string 1. We have to find whether string 1 is the subsequence of string 2 or not. Now what we'll do, see, first of all we'll compare that the ith element of string 2 is equivalent to the ith element of string jth element of string 1 or not. So you can see that these two are same. So if these two are same, I will be moving forward, because we are simply just comparing the elements. Now see, I was here, j was here, these two elements were equal. It means that a is present inside the string 2. So the work of j is also over, and it will move on the next element of string 1. Now see, is these two elements equal, str2 of I and str1 of j? No, these two elements are not equal. So what we'll do, we'll keep j at this position only, and we'll move our I pointer. Now I is pointing at x, and j is pointing at x. So these two characters are equal. It means that till now, see, the relative ordering is also same, because first a has come in this string. So when these two characters were equal, then only j was moving to the next index. Now here x is equal. Now when these two are equal, then only j will be moving to the next character. So this will automatically keep the relative ordering of the elements same. Now x and x was equal, so both the pointers will be moving forward. So this pointer, that is ith pointer, will also move forward. Now c is equivalent to y. No, c is not equivalent to y. So in this case only the pointer traversing string 2 will be moving ahead, that is I pointer. P and y are equal. No, p and y are not equal. So again this pointer will be moving ahead. Now y and y are equal. Yes, y and y are equal. So in this case both the pointers will be moving towards the next index. So I will plus plus and j plus plus. Now see, both I and j have crossed their string. But what does matter? What matters to us? Only thing matters to us is the position of j. If this j has crossed the string 1, then it means that all the characters in string 1 are present in string 2 and keeping the relative ordering same. Because see, j was only moving to next index when that particular character was present inside the string 2. So j was moving to the j plus plus. Now once j has crossed the string 1, it means that it has traversed all the elements of string 1 and all the elements of string 1 were present in string 2. So now it means that string 1 is all the characters of string 1 are present in string 2 and relative ordering is also matching. So it means string 1 is the subsequence of string 2. So in this case our answer will be true. Now I will try run same thing on next example so that the things can become clear. Sorry, here it will be string 2. Now we have to again prove that whether string 1 is a subsequence of string 2 or not. So the value at is y is equivalent to a. No, y is not equivalent to a. In this case what we'll do, we'll simply move the I pointer ahead. Now again, is a equivalent to a? Yes, a is equivalent to a. In this case what we'll do, we'll simply move both the pointers ahead. Okay. Now is d equivalent to x? No, d is not equivalent to x. We'll simply move I pointer ahead. Now is x equivalent to x? Yes, x is equivalent to x. So we will move j plus plus. We will do j plus plus and this also plus plus. Now is c equivalent to y? No, c is not equivalent to y. In this case only this thing I pointer will be moving ahead. Is p equivalent to y? No, p is not equivalent to y. So again this character I will be moving ahead. Now see this, while traversing string 2 I has moved ahead. This means that it has traversed all the characters which are present in string 2, but j is still remaining at the last character. It means that this y character was not present in this string 2, keeping the relative ordering same. Y was present but keeping the relative ordering same. Y was not present in this string 2 and we have traversed all the characters and still the j has not crossed this particular line. So it means that there is some elements in string 1 that are not present in string 2, keeping the relative ordering same. So in this case what will be happening, it means that string 1 is not the subsequence that is present in string 2. So I hope now I have discussed two approaches. Now you will know how to write the code and what will be the breaking condition of the for loops. So I hope now the question and approach is clear to you. Now I will be showing you the code for the same. Now this is the code. I have, for saving the time, I have already written the code. Now what we have to do in the question, we have to prove that S1 is the substring. S1 is the subsequence that is present in S2. Now first we'll take S2 as input because it is the long string. Then we'll take S1 as a string, S1 as input. That has to be proven the subsequence that is present in S2. Now see what we'll do, we'll simply iterate over this S2 string using the I variable. So we will simply be traversing over this using a for loop. We will simply be traversing over this bigger string, that is S2, this big string. Now what will be the breaking condition of this loop? Inside this loop what we are doing, we are simply doing that if our S2 of I, if this character is equivalent to the S1 of j, then we are moving both the pointers ahead. Like here we are doing j plus plus and I pointer is automatically incremented in this for loop. Now there is one more breaking condition. See, while traversing all the characters, if our I pointer moves out of this string, then there is a breaking condition, and one more breaking condition is also there. Let's suppose our I pointer is here only, and till now we have found all the characters, all the characters which were present in str1, and now our j variable is here. Now j variable is pointing here and our I variable is pointing here. It means that this entire string 1 is present in string 2, keeping the relative ordering same. So this can be also the scenario. So for that we have taken the second breaking condition, that is if our j is less than s1 dot length. So if this is the condition, then again the for loop will get broken and no more comparison will be made, because it is not possible that we will compare c with the null values. Okay, so I So I hope that you have understood this for loop. If our s2 of I is equal to s1 of j, then we are incrementing j plus plus, and I plus plus is automatically getting incremented using this for loop. And if either of these condition is false, then this for loop will be broken. Now after this loop is over, how we will find out whether the current string whether the str1 is a subsequence that is present in str2 or not? See, if it is a subsequence, then after the loop is over, j will always be pointing outside this loop, outside this string. So it means that if our j is equivalent to s1 dot length, so what is the position of j here? The index of j is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. The index of j is 3. And what will be the length of this string? That is 3 only. So it means that if the current position of j is equivalent to the length of s1, then it means that it is a subsequence. And we will simply print cout j double equivalent to m. If it were true, then 1 will be printed, true will be printed, otherwise false will be printed. So I hope the entire code is also clear to you. This code will run perfectly fine and it will pass all the test cases that will be given to you. And it is running in O of n time. So I hope the entire question, approach and code is clear to you. And guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and guys, please join my Telegram group also. All the links are given in the description box. Thank you for watching this video.